Hi guys, want to give you guys a little idea of where I am on this table setup, the ruins that I will be using for the game Frostgrave, but also for various other games. This is a very modular setup, so I can actually remove all of the castle pieces from the board and use them on another board or whatever the case may be. I still have a lot of work on the castle, but I did add some details today, and that's where I am now. I'm sort of on the detail phases of this project, so I'm adding more details to the foam and all that. So let's go to the game table, and I'll show you the setup and take it from there. So here's a little update. Okay, folks, so here is the castle so far. Okay, I've put a lot of work into it today. As you can see, I have some miniatures on there, and that's to kind of figure out, the spaces, how much space I need so that miniatures can actually interact with this terrain. That's very important when designing terrain is, how your miniatures are going to interact with the terrain. This miniature is from Age of Sigmar. It has a relatively large base, so I can see, like, there are certain stairs it's not going to be able to stand properly, but for the most part, it's actually pretty good. There will be some kind of door there or something to simulate access into the building. But basically, you can see the ballista there instead of the catapult that I had. So that brings up some interesting ideas, right? If you can actually use that ballista in game. But here we have enough space for two miniatures with large enough bases to kind of interact with each other, right? And fight whatever it is. So it's very important when designing terrain to keep that in mind. The best games are games that are fully three-dimensional, where miniatures can move all over the board, not just on the bottom here, but also, get up into these areas and kind of move along the top. I broke a little bit of the building here. There's a little section that's broken off. There's like a gate or a portcullis in there. I can put a treasure token in there. And I'm thinking about Frostgrave as I do this. So, of course, models can, go in there and interact with the treasure token. There's also a hole there. You can see, if I can focus, there you go. So your miniature can interact with whatever token or whatever we put in there. So again, that's very important when thinking about terrain, is how the players are going to interact with the terrain. That makes the game a lot more interesting. So there you see the castle. Still working on this. This is going to involve a few more details, probably some statues here and there. I also need ladders, a few ladders. I'll show you guys how I do that, and those ladders will, of course, be access points to some of these higher areas. There may also be some bridges or connections that I'm going to make, so that models can move on top as well as down below. Now, Frostgrave is a game that archers are deadly. Any ranged unit, they're deadly. So you want to have a lot of cover, a lot of terrain in your board. So that's something to keep in mind. So there it is, working on this ruined section of a city. This is only one half of the board. I can add another tile to this in the near future and expand these ruins to, so that they're larger. And that would, of course, make the game a lot more interesting. You can add more players and, of course, add a lot more to the ruins. But for now, this is it. This is for a very simple, quick game of Frostgrave or any other war game that involves skirmishing, right? So that's where I am right now.